So I'm gonna do the intro.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Well, I don't really care if you're ready. I'm gonna do it anyway.
Dude, I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it, dude.
Dude, I'm
Step the fuck up, Kyle. Step up. Step the fuck up.
Kyle.
My name is not Kale.
Shut up, Kale.
Shut up, Kale. Lisa loves that shit.
Oh, dude, it's so good.
Such a good show.
God, classic.
So, welcome back to Feel Free, the only podcast that will tell you to chase your dreams and also call you out on all your bullshit, myself included. If you haven't already, give us a like, subscribe, follow, and share on all your favorite listening and social media platforms. Always appreciate the support from everyone. Got a good show planned today. I got Joey Sauce, Saucer Beta Mills, Saucerville, keto-friendly sauce in the building. We're going to be talking about mental health, just a generalized breakdown of our perception of it. So if you're listening, want some tips and tricks on how to fortify your mental health defenses, then stay tuned. How you doing, Joey?
We're good, man.
Good?
We're good. No, it's a good Sunday.
Yeah.
We got a cup of coffee. You know, this is a good
Can't
way to.
complain, right?
We're good. This is a good Sunday.
Yeah, I asked Sam to be on the podcast, but he's got some family matters to attend to today.
Yeah,
He wanted to do it later at night too, and I got shit to do tonight. So
Yeah. And
I appreciate you coming here this early in the morning. I had the pot of coffee ready for you, so that was nice.
It was beautiful.
So you wanted to talk about mental health today, and I have a couple points that I wanted to touch on. And first, I think giving people the idea, why is mental health important? I think that's a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because for the older generations, I don't think they really dealt with stuff like that. No, not at all.
No, not even a little bit. That was just it was so discouraged on such a level.
Exactly.
It's like, no, their whole thing is just repress.
Yeah,
And just let it eat at you
of
for
course.
your whole life.
And I mean, I talked a little bit about the importance of professional help or therapy on a previous podcast or a couple.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a big thing, but I'm not gonna drill people about that on this one. This is gonna be more on the individual level that you can do.
Right.
So one of the points, like I just said, the stigma of the older generations on mental health, or just seeking professional help, or just like attending, self-love, all that other stuff, kind of frowned upon. I'm not saying the entire generation, because I do know some adults that are very keen on keeping an eye on their mental health, right?
Right.
But it has seeped into the younger generations. Like, also, you can blame technology and just the corporate world, or just the world we live in. Suicide, depression, anxiety, all these rates are skyrocketing.
Yeah.
So that needs to be attended to. I feel that the perception of yourself is really how you live, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
And I think the perception of yourself is really the basis of mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Like how you view yourself,
Yeah.
how you react to your thoughts, emotions, feelings, and stuff like that, right?
Right.
So if you're constantly negatively looking at yourself, then everything around you is going to be negative.
Mm-hmm.
Then everything within you is going to be negative, right?
Yeah.
And we've been there before. It's a bad place. And I think the second point I wrote was like, if the dominoes start falling, like, it gets ugly, right?
Yeah, really quickly. Yeah, it goes downhill very quickly.
And once things start happening in that fashion, if you don't have like a sturdy routine of mental health or foundation, then shit gets ugly real quick, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think the bad mental health habits also deal with bad physical habits too, right?
Oh yeah, they go hand in hand for sure.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think actually the bad mental health habits cause the bad physical wellness and physical well-being for sure.
Yeah, because you can, because I've always been a believer of the physical aspect, like going to the gym or just doing anything physical for me has always been, it's always been more beneficial to me mentally than physically. Like, obviously I enjoy the physical aspect of it, but
Of course.
but I get way more out of it mentally. Like, that's my serenity. Like, anything physical is mostly the time I get to be by myself and just give myself an hour and a half to just be alone and
zone in. Yeah.
And like kind of my kind of self introspection, because of course I do the traditional therapy, which is great, obviously, but we'll talk about that on another one. But yeah, so that's kind of like my me time to be alone and
I feel that.
think about it. Yeah.
And that was it's a little difficult for some people to get. Some people, like, I've had buddies ask me, "Oh, do you want to like work out?" I don't like working out with people. I'm not about it. No offense to anybody out there.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the person, and it's
or anything.
Like,
it's just I like throwing my headphones in and just like zoning in on my craft, like my body, right?
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Yeah, I don't like shooting the shit with people like in between sets and all that crap. I'm sorry.
No, the small talk and like I do enough of that in my job. Like the last thing I want to do when I go to a gym is to, like, when I want to think about talking to people or interacting with people, that's where I go to get away from
the interaction and stuff.
Yeah.
So shooting the shit.
Right. Yeah.
So I think that having that good foundation, the routine, is very important. And I started getting back into the gym. Like, obviously I rolled my ankle.
Mm-hmm.
I've been out for a little bit, but I'm back in the gym doing more of my weightlifting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that was huge, like dealing with the grief of the cat and just how life throws all these different things, right?
Yeah.
So these dominoes started falling in my life, and I needed to take a step back. And I'm like, I need to start working out regularly. I need to start taking a moral inventory, being grateful, stuff like that. I need to start caring about my mental health, right? These emotions and everything. Because I could just go eat a tub of ice cream
and just wallow and
zone into some video games and stuff like that.
And pretty much just run away in a void and not want to face anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's of course the easy.
But I didn't do that.
Right.
See, I felt those warning signs, and then I was like, I need to make these changes like now, right? Because next thing you know, you start having bad mental habits, and then it rolls into a couple months.
Oh yeah,
right.
Oh, and you don't even realize
exactly.
It. Yeah, it hits you before you even know.
It's just it's too dangerous, you know.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
And I think the other reason why mental health is really important is the mind is probably the most important thing about a human.
Oh, without question.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, we can go into some pseudoscience, and like I write a lot about it in my writing. Like, you can say the soul is, but to me, like the soul isn't really, it's only real to those that believe it's real.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And even for someone like me who believes it's real, like, I don't find it to be the most important thing because it just doesn't exist sometimes. Like, it's its own existence, right? And nothing that I do can like change that.
Yeah.
So realistically, there's a couple things that I tend to, and that's the mind and that's the body, right? And I feel like tending to those two things actually supports the soul, right?
Yeah, that was going to be what I was going to say. Is like, I feel like if you solidify your brain, you solidify your soul along with it.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like you said, if you believe in the concept of the soul, by fortifying the brain, like, it kind of plays into everything. Your body is strong, your soul is strong, your like everything else is strong.
Exactly.
So it all starts there. So I agree.
And so taking the time to understand how our mind works, kind of little tips and tricks on not really how to outsmart some of the bad habits that the mind can play. Because honestly, like, the mind is a game. The mind is always trying to trick itself, outsmart itself, create something that's interesting to itself, figure it out. It's like its own computer, right?
Yeah.
It's always trying to solve something. And if it doesn't have anything to solve, it creates a problem to solve, right?
Yeah.
And then you start creating these problems and issues in your head that don't actually exist.
Yeah.
Right?
You make them out to be bigger than they are.
Exactly.
Or,
yeah. And that's a bad snowball effect.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, it's really.
So you got to call yourself out on that bullshit, right?
Yeah.
But that's why I believe mental health is really important. Is you got to have a sturdy foundation of the mind, right?
Yeah.
Because it is so powerful that when it starts to get out of hand, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, it rolls over into every aspect of your life.
Exactly.
Like, that's just, that's where it starts.
It's just not a fun time.
No, it isn't.
No.
God. I've kind of started reading a little bit more about some of these books.
What
One of them
books?
is it's a book by Michael Singer. It's called Mindful. No, it's called The Untethered Soul.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of that.
Have you heard of it?
Yeah, I've heard of that book.
Yeah. So I'm about 2/3 into that book, and a lot of it talks about but like a lot of it rolls into solidifying your like the mind and learning to separate the soul, learning to separate the thoughts from your brain, which is kind of a complex, is a kind of a complex concept and practice. So
Yeah,
obviously that's not, and it's something I'm still even struggling to grasp and conceptualize. So
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But that's just like almost like a daily thing that you have to do.
Yeah. It's kind of like wake up in the morning and kind of give yourself that 15-20 minutes in the morning to kind of like put things into perspective.
For sure.
Yeah. Kind of.
That's a routine right there. That's a practice.
Right. Yeah.
I kind of do that at the end of the day.
That's yours at the end of the day.
Because my brain just ain't working in the morning for some reason. You know, I'm not a morning person.
No, I've grown to be a morning person. I was never a morning person. I try to do it because usually by the end of the day, I'm usually too tired to like sit there for 15-20 minutes at the end of the day and just kind of process everything.
Yeah,
take it all in. So normally when I wake up in the morning, obviously I take my 45 minutes, half hour, 45 minutes to drink coffee and kind of wake up, and then I kind of like to take that 15 minutes to kind of reflect on the previous day.
Okay.
And
that's
where so that's how I kind of
see. When I say previous day, it's 11 p.m. at night, and I say that the day I just had is the previous day. So I'm already looking at 11 p.m. me is already in tomorrow almost.
Oh, is it really? Okay.
Because when I wake up at 7, now I say I'm not a morning person. I still wake up around 6:45, 7. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When I say I'm not a morning person, it's just I'm not really useful.
Not useful.
I'm not useful.
It's hard to be useful at 6 a.m.
It is. Well, you see, so I get up. I have this routine. It's a bad routine. I kind of get on my phone for a little bit. I have to check my social media because I don't have a social media person who's checking that shit daily.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I have to do that, which I absolutely hate. And after about a half hour of dicking around on my phone in the morning, I play guitar, and then maybe I'll read a little bit.
Oh, that's a good morning.
Yeah. But I can't absolutely not go to the gym. There's no way. My body cannot move like that.
Oh, see, it takes a lot of because I was always a night gym person.
Yeah.
Always.
But I mean, you work out in the morning now.
Yeah, and I had to train myself to go in the morning because it's hard because being at GQ when it was always at noon, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like a 12 to 6 or 12 to 8 day.
Yeah, it was just, which obviously you could look at it now and be like, you got all that time in the morning to go to the gym before, but I would just dick around in the morning and just when I would go, I would just go at night.
Right.
But then when I started a job that was 8:30, 9 in the morning, trying to get myself to go in the morning and forcing myself to wake up 5:30, 6 o'clock just to fit it all in. It was brutal. It was brutal. It took a month. It took a month for it to become part. You wake up and just it's part of the day.
Yeah.
It was probably one of the hardest habits I had to form. Was that one. It's tough.
I will never get there. I do not see.
You can get there.
I do not want to.
You don't want to?
Nope, I don't. I will be a nighttime workouter, and that's just it.
As long as you're going,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's really the most important thing. Whether you go in the morning or you go at night, as long as you're getting yourself there, that's the most important thing. Right.
So I think that's a good practice to have. But we already talked about the connection between mental health and physical wellness.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really important. Now, the other thing I wanted to touch on were things that you can do to increase your mental health proficiency or just your fortitude or whatever, right? Your practices.
Yeah.
I mean, we touched on why mental health is important, and then we said okay, well, working out is really important. I think the number one thing, and this is a very vague concept, almost might be too easy, broad. I think the number one thing is just staying positive. no matter what.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult in today's world to do that because there's always something that is fucking everything up.
Yeah.
There's either something wrong with your car, maybe your energy doesn't allow you to work out that day, you don't have your freaking groceries, so you're eating out.
Mm-hmm.
You finish one of your favorite shows, now you don't know what show to start.
Yeah.
You're on your phone, you see other people living their best lives. Why aren't you living your best life? And you're constantly just like at war with the world around you.
Yeah,
right?
I was gonna say like the media aspect of that is
the media aspect is bad.
It's really bad.
But then you throw your job on top of it.
Yeah.
Right.
And then all the things you can't prepare for, you can't anticipate is like the calls from outside people needing help, like family members or just any other obligations that you went into the day didn't plan for.
Yep.
That now you're like, oh, okay, now I got to do this. Well, now it's going to take an hour and a half, 2 hours out of my day. Now
right.
I can't, it's like, and then you got to sit there and go, okay, well, now I can't do this. Now I got to carve out this. Now I got to shorten this.
Yes.
And so you spend the whole rest of the day reassessing and reorganizing your day.
Then that takes energy right there. And now you're tired too on top of it.
Yeah.
So everything's just smacking you in the face. And it is hard to take a step back and just stay positive.
Yeah.
Like, I got this, you know?
Like it's hectic right now, but in the grand scheme, this is a small hurdle.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's what you got to tell yourself. And it's really just a fraction of the time you spend on this planet when you look at it too, you know? And if you're really going to let a couple moments define your mental well-being, then you got a pretty weak well-being, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But that's why we're here and working on that shit, you know?
Yeah, that's when you got to sit back and kind of reassess and
how you're going about things. Yeah, for sure.
Your practices, yeah.
I mean, like especially like working in retail for a portion of your life, or you know, dealing with addiction or other traumatic experiences, like that negative thought style is always beckoning. It's always calling to you, right? It's easy to latch on, right? And after 3 years of like completely changing my routines and my mental habits, my physical habits, like it still comes around. That'll never leave.
Oh yeah.
So I think it's interesting I say that because now I think about it. The first time I got sober, I was sober for a month, right? And that was it, right? I don't know. I was like, yeah, I get the gist of it, right? That's what I was like. I get. All right.
I love the beginning stages of that where you're still cocky and think you know everything, and then it's like
well, I was
this
19.
isn't so bad. Yeah.
So you know,
but every addict has been there.
Of course,
because every addict, it takes multiple tries at it to get it. Like I've never met somebody who has overcome something on the first try. Like it just is virtually impossible.
It is. It is for sure.
Yeah, it's
the second time I was sober for like 6 months, and now this time I've been sober for obviously like a little over 3 years.
Yeah,
right. And I had thought in the first 2 times that I got sober, I'm like, I'm doing this because I'm sick of being depressed, or because at the height of my addiction, you're also dealing with suicide. And I write a little bit about it in my book. It's like when you're an addict, and not even just like, okay, I'm addicted to, I mean, maybe you do feel like this. Maybe people who are addicted to TV, fast food, and sugar, they feel this way. But like, there's a lot of suicide that's involved with that. You know, addiction is kind of like an indirect, long-term suicide, in my opinion.
Yeah,
right.
100%.
So my whole reasoning for getting sober was like, I don't want to feel like that anymore. Like, I want to completely rid myself of suicidal thoughts, right? And the second time getting sober, even after 6 months of being sober, like I had that thought fly through my head. And then I threw my sobriety out the window. I was like, well, if I'm going to be sober and still have these thoughts, then what's the fucking point?
Yep.
Right? And I was almost like mad at myself, right? So then I started like drinking again, obviously, but it wasn't like a problem at that time because I still had a grasp on like my sobriety. It,
Right.
you know, it turned into alcoholism 3 years in the making after that. But
Mhm.
now when I got sober, these 3 years, obviously, like, you still have those thoughts or depression, anxiety, you still have them,
Mhm.
but it's how you face them, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you can feel hopeless, right? But if you stay positive, I think you can work through anything.
Yeah.
It's like I have to remind myself that I love myself.
Mhm.
Like I'm doing this for a reason.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, it's always, you gotta know your purpose. Constantly telling
Reminding
yourself
yourself
of
of
your
that shit,
purpose.
you know?
Right. Yeah. Cause I mean, that was a big thing. That was a big thing for me, was the reason I got started was a lot of the same thing. I hated what looked back at me in the mirror. Like
Yeah.
that was
The
my
perception of yourself,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Like I like to I liked aspects of myself, but like I liked small aspects of myself, but the more important things,
Hated them.
I hated them.
Yeah.
Like there was not one major thing about me that I thought positively of myself. And so that was
It's a tough thing to come to terms with, though.
that was a big thing to come to terms with. And
Yeah.
it took like probably like 2 years, like because
Of
it was
undoing that damage. Yeah, for sure.
It took 2 years to truly rip that Band-Aid off. Like it
Yeah.
was just little by little, inch by inch, like pieces here and there, until finally it came off. And yeah, and you still like, and I'm about 2.5 years into my sobriety, and similar to you, like the depressive thoughts still come and go.
Yeah,
Like
of course.
You kind of just tell yourself like you get better at coping with it, but it's
Yeah.
never gonna, you're lying to yourself if you're gonna say that you're never gonna have a depressive thought again.
Yeah, right.
Like that,
or a suicidal thought.
or a suicidal thought. Like it's gonna, they're gonna come, they're gonna be there, they're gonna come and go. But
Yeah.
you gotta tell yourself, what you're doing now or where you're at now is a whole hell of a lot better than where you were before.
For sure.
Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it too.
That's how that's what always kept me, was I look like I'm done good about looking at myself 4 years ago and looking at myself now and putting the two next to each other and saying, how did I feel back then? How do I feel now? Sure, there's a correlation between the person 4 years ago and the person now, but overall,
The one now is it's light years ahead of the one I was
is
before.
not even in almost all categories is substantially better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think realizing that having those thoughts, they don't define you anymore. Right? Before we let them define ourselves, like, oh, well, I'm a piece of shit anyway for having these thoughts. Right? Now you have them, you're like, I'm not going to let this run my day or my week or my month. Right?
Yeah.
Like the person I am now is, like you said, not even comparable to the one I was before.
Right.
And you got to run with that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just at the end of the day, it's just a thought. That's all it is. Like, it's too easy to place such an overvalue or overimportance on
your thoughts.
On a thought.
Yeah. You can't have your thought and be like, this is the defining thought of my entire lifetime. I said I'm a piece of shit. And I am. Like, can you imagine? Like, I mean, we used to do that though, but
100%, yeah.
But now
100%.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I know you look back. Yeah, you look back on it and I was like, "What the fuck is wrong with me?"
Yeah, what was I thinking?
God, what place was I really like that
depressed?
low? Was I that low?
Yeah, and then you realize, yes, I was that low actually. And now you have a thought. You're like, you know what? I'm a pretty okay person.
Yeah.
I'm all right with me.
Then I look and be like, I've come a pretty long way, more than a lot of people.
For sure.
Like a lot of people around.
You gotta give yourself the pat on the back.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure. For sure.
That's like, I mean, the third point I was going to talk about in the podcast was gratefulness, right? And that's really what it is. Like
100%.
Being grateful for who you are, right?
Yeah.
So the staying positive, it's probably I think that's the number one thing that is grounding for the mental health. Just the whole thing, right?
It's one of the best ways to keep perspective, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Taking a step back, if you need to get in like this weird routine of like, if you're having an issue in life, when people say take a step back, they're talking about mentally. They're like, all right, take a step back, chill, take a breath, and like look at life like that. I think if you need to get in the habit of wherever you are, if you need to take a step back, maybe like train yourself, take one step back, almost to like get in that mindset and like look at the situation from taking that one step back.
Yeah.
Almost like a weird mental trick on yourself, right? I think having those mental tricks are very, very important though too.
Yeah, they are.
So we talked about the workout, the exercise, and the diet too. I think that's second.
The diet is second?
I think that, well, just like the physical well-being. I think number one foundation for mental health, staying positive. And I think number two under that is listening to your body and what it's telling you, because they go hand in hand.
Yeah, they do.
Right? So I think dealing with like your diet, whatever exercise, maybe if you're not in the best of shape, just getting a routine of drinking more water and stretching at the end of the day.
Yeah, I got to be better about stretching.
Yeah, me too.
That's definitely something that I neglect, and I know that that's something I got to work on, because like I got knees and joints of like a 45-year-old man, so, and I know all this, and I still don't prioritize that. So I know I gotta put more time towards that. But
yeah, I feel that.
Yeah,
I stretch a lot during basketball.
Yeah,
or like before basketball, I'll stretch for like probably 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's super important, because you're playing for like 2.5 hours. So that's like, if you're gonna play for that long, that hard.
My
like,
stretching afterwards though doesn't happen.
No,
and it should. I know it should. Joe's fucking telling me, and I'm like, oh god, I'm just like so gassed after playing for 2 or 3 hours.
Dude, Joe's big about the stretching.
Yeah,
Joe's.
We should listen to him.
Joe is if you're gonna listen to anybody about anything like physical,
it's probably Joe.
It's probably Joe. Yeah. I just saw him yesterday. We were gonna go for a run. Like, I ride the bike next to him while he does his run. Yeah. We were talking. He takes like before we were gonna go, he was like stretching for like stretching and doing like his calf,
his warm up.
His warm up and shit. He puts like a half hour into that.
Yep, and at the end too.
Yeah, and at the end too. It's he does.
I got to get back into that.
Yeah,
like how I feel about getting back into meditation. I need to do that with stretching too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's so important. It's so important,
because I feel like meditation can be viewed as like stretching for your mind.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, 100%. No,
that makes sense.
Oh yeah. No, I get it. That's a good correlation. Yeah.
It's all just like starting that, like, it's going to be good for you,
but starting the habit is it's difficult.
You need to set reminders.
It's that first step. That's like everything. You do it for a week, and then you have a busy few days, and you forget about it, and it's just it's gone. And then you got to sit there again and be like, okay,
try and reformulate it again.
Carve the time.
Yep. Pain in the ass, but totally worth it.
Yep. 100%. Yeah, it's been months since I've meditated, and
I tried doing it every couple of weeks.
Yeah. It was something that I was doing like every other day for like a month or two.
Okay, that's good. That's a good habit.
Yeah, we start to got a good habit, but yeah, and
then you get busy.
Yep, exactly.
Get busy in this world.
You keep you find another hobby or something, and
there it goes.
Yeah.
The other point I wanted to make about increasing your mental health game, now it kind of goes hand in hand. You said it, hobbies. I think hobbies are really important, and then just overall accomplishments, right?
Yeah.
Because when you're in a bad mental health state and you're calling yourself a piece of shit, or you're just getting down in the dumps, I think you got to just go accomplish small tasks, kind of boost yourself, right? Get a new hobby, maybe figure something out about your new hobby, go and create a goal, maybe go on a walk. Like, I think like accomplishing certain tasks, because if you go through life and all you accomplish was like work, eat, TV, sleep, like those accomplishments aren't good enough.
No,
You know?
no, they're not. That's not going to get you to where you want to be.
Exactly.
Yeah, those are too general.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you got to throw some other stuff in there, you know?
Yeah.
A little more of a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, the mind is always trying to like figure something out. It is always trying to create problems to fix them, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't give the mind enough of a challenge, it's going to work against you.
Yeah.
Right?
It's going to get bored. It's going to get bored, and boredom is what gets you into trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The boredom is what'll undo.
It'll get you.
Yeah. You can make the argument that boredom is the most dangerous thing for your mind.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, what's that one cliche? Idle hands are the devil's playground.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. 100%.
Totally understand. Yeah.
That is,
fucking guy.
I couldn't agree with that more.
For sure.
That's a fucking good perspective.
God damn.
Yeah.
That's why I'm glad I don't like smoke weed.
Oh.
And like everybody says it. They're just like, yeah, when you like smoke a lot of weed, it just makes you okay with being bored.
That's literally, there's never been a more true statement about weed. Like you're never more okay with being complacent than when you smoke weed.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and
but we're not like you're bashing it.
No,
because
we're
like
not.
There are some beautiful things about it.
There is. And I will say it's better than a lot of other things you could do, for sure.
For sure.
But, and I also get that there are people who use it and are still very productive and still accomplish what they want to do.
Yeah,
and
their dreams, goals,
yeah,
mental, physical well-being. Like,
yeah, they don't let it get in the way, and and if you can,
yeah, more power to you.
Yeah, right. That's great. But I like from me personally, I was not that person.
Me personally, and seeing how it affects people around me though too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm not totally surrounded by people that smoke weed that much,
mm-hmm.
and they're just killing it in every facet of life.
Yeah.
I don't think I know.
No, I just see them kind of going through the day.
Yeah. I mean, by all means, like they're still putting in mad work. I know people who work their fucking ass off.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
But maybe another factor of life like falls short in that aspect. Maybe like their physical well-being
mm-hmm.
or their emotional well-being they're not dealing with.
Yeah. Just the time the time and energy that gets put towards that, another area gets neglected.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
And in those moments where they could be doing something else, it's like they're okay with their boredom,
mm-hmm.
Zoned out and shit.
Right. And that's
a dangerous game.
It is a dangerous game because it accumulates to a lot of hours.
A lot of hours. Yep.
It could be put towards.
You literally just get baked and stare into nothingness
for like 3 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing.
Yeah, it's just like I've never sat on the couch and done nothing longer than when I was baked.
Yeah, for sure.
Just and polished off the most disgusting amount of food you've ever seen in your life, and obviously none of it being good.
Of course not.
Like, of course, because nobody's gonna get baked and say like, yeah, I'm gonna go eat some grilled chicken. No.
In a salad.
And some spinach and broccoli. Like, no. I'm gonna
get a pizza.
I'm gonna get a pizza. I'm gonna make some cookies,
some
like
chips. Get it, dude.
Ooh, we're gonna do it.
And then you just loaf there.
Oh, you just sit there and go, oh, that was great.
Yeah, but then a couple hours later, you're like,
what did I do? What did I do?
Now look at me.
I'm like you got pizza sauce on your clothes.
Literally just vegging out.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I think the having hobbies and having things to accomplish are really important.
Yeah, that's.
I think another thing that is very important, relationships, and that's not sexual. I mean, technically, because we are humans, that is a necessary factor. Right.
Yeah.
You can't just go through life without that because we are animals, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when I say relationships, I just mean like actual relationships with people, completely platonic, love, push and pull, friendship, family, all this stuff, interactions with your community and stuff like that. That's very important.
Yeah.
I think people realized how important that was after COVID hit because we went on straight up lockdown and people are like, that's great. I work from home. I don't have to see motherfuckers I don't like. Fucking food ordered my door, blah, blah, blah. And then after a year, you're like, I need people.
Yeah.
I need people. Please don't leave me.
Oh, even the most introverted of people are like, we're itching to get out and be
Yeah.
like see people. Yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
I think that's crazy important,
yeah,
especially being around people that have good mental health practices, though. Positive people.
yeah, because that stuff's contagious.
It is. The negativity?
Fuck. The negativity is contagious, and then conversely, the positive is contagious.
Yeah, yes, it is.
So it's they go both ways. It's just you got to surround yourself with the people doing
the positive people,
doing the positive
the go-getters, the love and life people.
Yeah.
The woe is me shit.
Oh,
God.
It's just such
I don't want to be around it anymore.
No, and look, and we can all sit here and complain about shit in life and shit that we're going through because everybody's going through shit. Everybody. Don't be around, don't sit in a group with friends and talk about it or
about how shitty your life is
or complain or
unless you have like something like so fucking devastating, like you're sitting there in the circle like a family member died from cancer and my house burned down. It's like we can console you in this moment.
Right.
But if you're just gonna sit there and be like, I don't like my life. Sorry.
There's a coworker that's really mad at me or doesn't like me.
I know I gotta get in shape, but I don't wanna. Why is it so hard to be a human?
It's like
I can't be around.
No, I can't. And that's like and look, like you want help with it, like I'll help you, but don't bitch. Don't bitch. And don't go around like your friends, like you're not hanging out with like your whole group of friends and talking about that.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like you have help with that stuff. Like call me when you're at home or something, or text me, and I'll like me or like if anybody's a true friend, like they'll give you their perspective and they'll try to help you.
Exactly.
Do not bring that to
please God no.
Do not bring that to the friend circle. Don't do that.
No way. Or when people just go. Like sometimes it's like a group of people chilling, right?
Yeah.
And everyone's having like a good time, but someone decides to just out of nowhere just go, yeah, I'm gonna die alone. I'm like, fucking shit. Why did you say that?
I was gonna say, like, where did that come from?
What are we in this circle right now? What the fuck? Why would you say that?
There is literally nothing. That was not part of the conversation.
It was not.
Like that was not anywhere. You just unprompted. It
was almost like everyone was having such a good time that they just like had to
ruin it.
They had to ruin it.
God, this is no. There's no room for nihilists. There's just no room. There's no room for them. Because I'm sorry, like anybody who's like, if you're that dark, like around friends, like you like, yeah, you got to be some level of like nihilist. Yeah.
Brandon calls me a nihilist all the time, but he says I'm the happy, positive nihilist.
I would just say, I would say you're cynic.
Cynic? I can be cynical. Yeah,
I also can be cynical. I get it from my dad. Like you know, my dad is probably one of the most cynical people you'll ever meet in your life.
Most 60 to 70-year-old men are pretty cynical, though.
That's true.
Let's be honest.
I'll ask my mom, but I'm fairly certain my dad was that cynical, like in his 40s.
Probably,
like
I can see it. Yeah. I can see it on his face.
Dude, I think like banking just took a fucking toll on him.
Yeah,
like numbers, and it's a tough.
I vibe with it. I vibe with it though.
I'm with
it. You need
a
little cynicism.
I'm sorry,
be honest.
Because there's some like cynics are sometimes like the realest and most logical, like some of the most real logical people.
Yeah, it's a dangerous game though.
It is a dangerous game. It is. Like you still have to obviously. There's still optimism. Like you got to toe the line between being a cynic and being like a nihilist, obviously, but you got to still have optimism. And
I think having a little bit of like, the nihilism, sometimes like how I view it, like, because I read a lot of existentialists, a certain sect of philosophy, and they're pretty keen. Sometimes they push the envelope on nihilism, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you can take their writings in a positive light, sometimes you read it and it's like, well, nothing matters. So go and live the best fucking life you can, right? That's how you take it. Right. Or you can take it the negative nihilist way where it's like, oh, nothing matters. So
Who
why
cares?
do it?
So why better
Yeah.
myself? Why
Like, why do
why
that?
put myself out there for people? Why this?
Or you
Like,
can view it like, it does not matter.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to just go full force into it.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And so it is all on perspective then.
Yeah, which kind of ties into being strong mental practices to read something like that and say like, which way am I going to go with it?
Positive.
Am I going to? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's just what we have to like start doing, because I don't want to be the friend in the group saying I'm going to die alone.
Nobody wants
to
be
that guy.
No, nobody wants to be that guy.
No.
But that's an area for me specifically. That's an area that I have to be better about. The
I think we all do, though.
Part of it. Yeah. That's in almost every category, whether it's like meeting new friends, dating, things like that. I know that I specifically have to be better about that. And so
it's tough waters to tread in.
It is.
And you can either go in and test the water with your toe, you can go in with 1 foot or 2 feet. I'm a 2 feet kind of guy.
Yeah, and I'm a 1 toe kind of guy.
Yeah, you see, the 2 feet kind of gets me hurt.
Yeah,
but that's
at least
life.
but the positive of that though is, then at least you don't have the fear. You don't you do have the fear obviously, because you like the fear is like obviously underlying thing, but you at least
I take that chance.
Yeah, exactly. You get past the hurdle of the fear of like saying like, do I do it? Do I do it? You just do it. And like obviously
there are some things that I'm 1 toe with though.
Yeah.
Things that I have absolutely no idea about. Like this whole like book industry and shit. Like I'm very hesitant about, and this might be the negative aspect of the cynicism. I have a hard time trusting people on the internet.
Yeah.
That's a big problem for me.
Yeah.
Even though I know I need to hire professionals on the internet to help me with this whole thing. So I'm definitely a 1 toe guy with that.
But I think that's pretty rational.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
I would say so.
In terms of like living life to the fullest, like you already know what I did. Like, 2 feet kind of guy.
Right.
Came with some backlash, but that's all right,
It was all part of the learning experience.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think being able to like gauge that. Well, see, like with the relationships you were saying, you're a 1 toe kind of guy.
Yeah.
But you now realize that you need to tend more to the relationship aspect of things.
So
right?
I got to turn from 1 toe to like 1 foot, and then from 1 foot eventually work to 2 feet.
Exactly. And I think that accomplishment right there is going to make you feel a lot better too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because I feel like that's one of the aspects that I wouldn't go so far as to say I've neglected, but
it's something you can work on.
Right. Yeah. Right. Of all the areas of my life that I feel like I've improved, that's one of the areas I feel like I haven't improved as much as the rest.
Yeah, but I mean, it's on the list. Like you know it, you realize it, right?
And that's always the first step.
Exactly.
Accepting, then accepting, realization. Yeah. And then from there, that's where growth comes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Last thing I think kind of goes on there is like taking a vacation. Mental, it could be you can go somewhere. Maybe you just take a day off of work, chill at home. Any type of break, type of break that you feel you need, take it.
It's very important.
It doesn't matter if you miss a deadline. Listen, work's going to be there. If you take a paid day off or whatever, you're not going to lose your fucking job, right? We're actually in a point where people are looking for people to work. So no matter what, you're going to have a job if you try. Just take a day or two, fucking love yourself, and then come back and tackle it again.
Yeah, because you need that day or two, which is another thing that I kind of get caught up in the work, and like don't take the day or two to really just kind of walk away and get my mind off of it, and which is so important.
Oh yeah,
but
I mean you got Sundays off.
Yeah,
I got kind of a busy Sunday though.
Yeah, my Sunday is really busy.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
we gotta go hang out with Kath later.
Yeah,
just
we
moved
do.
into her condo.
Yeah, and I got a contractor coming. Yeah. So
yeah.
Yeah. So so it's all. Yeah, it's homeownership, you
Yeah,
know.
of course.
It's great.
But that's adulting, you know.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. But it's all good. That's all good things.
Yeah, it's gonna
So,
be worth it.
Yeah.
That's what you got to tell yourself.
It's in the grand scheme. No, in the grand scheme, it was the right decision.
Exactly.
But obviously, in the short term, you're like, oh no, like what is all
More
this?
things to do.
Yeah, like I'm so
No.
busy. It never ends. So
Yeah.
the whole it never ends thing. It's like
Then we start
it's-
complaining, and then it's
right.
just like, oh fuck.
yeah,
I just got to stay positive.
yeah. Then you catch
yourself,
it.
yeah.
Yep. And then you catch it.
In conclusion, we'll kind of wrap this thing up. I think the other thing that's really important with mental health is being grateful, right? Because you can, like the staying positive thing, you can be grateful for these experiences, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we viewed our past self compared to the self we are now. You're just grateful for the work you put in, right?
Yeah.
And then I think that fuels us to make even better changes in the future, right?
Yeah, 100%.
I think another way to be grateful is to be rewarding yourself with something, at least, you know.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be anything crazy. Just
No,
a
it doesn't.
small reward.
Small victories, big
Yeah.
changes.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm
you gotta
saying.
start. Yeah, you gotta start small. Whether it's rewards or changes, they
Exactly.
all start small.
Like ice cream. I usually throw that into almost like every podcast.
Yeah, see, mine's pizza.
Pizza.
Mine's pizza. God,
You know-
it's in the blood for me.
Not a big pizza guy.
I know you've said it. I know you've said it,
Yeah.
and it just
Listen,
bothers
I
me.
don't care if it
I'm
bothers you.
kidding.
What? I don't care if it bothers anybody. And they go, "You're from Chicago. How do you not like pizza?" And I'm like, "Cause I've been eating it my whole freaking life."
Yeah, but that's the other thing. Like, I'm gonna get a lot of backlash from Chicagoans. Not big on the deep dish.
It's thick though. It's heavy.
That's the thing is like I like my pizza thin. Like I like New York style pizza, like thin like that. Like that's
Mhm.
my pizza. Well, if somebody's offering me some deep dish pizza, am I gonna turn it down? No.
I'm gonna eat it.
Like I'm gonna eat it because it's
But you're saying if you had to choose between buying your own pizza, thin crust.
yeah,
Okay,
100%.
for
Yeah,
sure.
if my two choices are deep dish or thin crust, I'm going thin crust.
I'm gonna go with that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just it's almost too much. Like deep dish is just it's almost just too
Yeah. If I
much.
wanted to have a lasagna, I'd have a fucking
a
lasagna.
lasagna.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Lasagna.
Did
Give
you
this
get the-
lasagna a massage.
I was wondering if you were gonna catch that or
Yeah,
not.
I did. Friggin' Kanye West.
Yeast.
Yeast. Oh, I thought you said West.
Weast.
That's West, me boy.
Patrick's a great character.
The Aunt Cindy says I should be a voice actor.
I could see you doing that.
people say
I
that.
always said you should be an actor. You could
Yeah,
have
I
been.
know.
I always say you're like you got Jim Carrey in you.
Just grew up on him.
Yeah,
My
Jim-
dad started playing Dumb and Dumber since I came out the womb. Right?
Great movie.
Great movie.
Great movie. Yeah.
What a
Jim
guy.
Carrey's the man. Liar. Like, oh, that's
Dude, 90s Jim Carrey slaps.
that's a big slap fest,
God,
dude.
I don't think you're going to find a more ridiculous human being on the screen in the 90s.
He's an acquired taste, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he is, but like I said, like obviously us growing up on him, like we love him, but there's obviously those people who are like, he's too much. He's too much. Why is he so over the top? And like it's always, you know,
Like,
Yeah,
shut up.
you got no sense of humor.
For
Like,
real.
God, what do you find funny? What is your funny?
Fiscal responsibility.
And policies.
Boring ass.
Yeah, seriously.
God.
God, take a joke once in a while. I don't understand. What do you read like those political comics?
Yeah,
like
probably.
what is your terrible those illustrations? Those are the worst things I've ever seen. You get those in school? Were you getting those?
Yeah, I got
oh
those.
God, terrible.
Yeah, I'm not cracking a smile for those.
No, and
I'm
I'm
not.
sorry. Anybody who does, I don't like I don't trust their sense of humor.
No, I don't.
I don't.
That's also another good thing about mental health. Laughter.
Oh, huge.
Yeah, I didn't put
Huge.
that down, but that's huge.
Yeah. No, that's really big.
I think laughter, saying thank you, sharing a smile, like these are all things like we may forget to do in our interactions with people,
Yeah.
but sometimes they can make a person's day,
Yeah.
you know? Can
Yeah.
make your day. Shit, you could just have like a really fun interaction with a complete friggin' stranger, and like sometimes you're in the grocery store and something funny happens and you and a customer laugh to each other and say something, and you're like, oh, that's pretty fucking funny, you know?
Yeah, and
Right?
it's always the smallest interactions that
Exactly.
can just turn your whole day around. You're like in a retail setting, or when you're working a job where you're dealing with people, and you've had a whole bunch of like bad interactions with people, and you're obviously in a bad mood, and then you get that one person who comes in who's just like great personality, or says something funny, or like just
Yep.
just has just something happens, and you and him just have a good interaction or have a good laugh, and it just turns your whole day around.
It's just
Like,
it just makes the whole day.
yeah, it really does. That gets you through the rest of your day, and then you think about that. You're like, that was hilarious.
That's the cherry on
Yeah,
top.
I needed that. I
Yeah,
needed that
right?
today. That was big.
I think one weird thing that I have with people, and it makes me smile. Lisa says I have it. It's a sixth sense for anime T-shirts.
For anime T-shirts,
I just feel them. They're walking past me. We're in Vegas, and I'm like, we're walking all over, and I'm like, anime T-shirt. Look over there, and I'm like pointing them out all over the place. I just like know they're there, and I just like smile.
Are they all from shows you've seen? Probably.
Yeah,
because you've seen
and even shows I don't see.
Seriously?
Yeah, Bleach, Naruto, One Piece. Like I just like find the anime in my vicinity, and I'm like, yay.
That's a cool sense.
I know, right?
That's a cool sense.
I mean, I might as well been bitten by a radioactive anime.
I was gonna say you're
person.
like the anime. What's your anime superhero name?
Sensei. That just means Johnny Sensei.
Johnny
I'm
Sensei.
sorry,
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna
teacher.
say Johnny Sensei.
Hey, Don.
Hey,
Hey, freaking Don. It's Johnny Sensei.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
Yeah, that kind of makes my day. It's
Yeah.
just like a little weird thing, and I'm grateful for those anime T-shirts.
Yeah, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the people who can make me laugh.
For sure.
Yeah, that's
Luckily we have my father in our lives who is
probably the funniest person to walk the earth.
I think that we've encountered for sure.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Ed is one of those. Ed is one of those people. He just he's that way about him. He just makes your day whenever you're around him. He just has that like that way about him.
He's got that vibe.
He's got that vibe. He's got that way about him.
Yep.
He just the things like how he conducts himself is
ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous, and he's just so himself and so genuine. You can't help but love him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's just one of those. He's one of those guys.
He is a joy. That is for sure.
He is. He's a special person.
I think also, and before we finish this up, I'd like to make a note on my father. If there's anybody who has some of the most positive mental energy, no matter what, it is him.
Yep.
Right?
100%.
Even when he's wrong. Now, this is a bad thing because he's wrong a lot. Still positive.
Yep.
And he'll tell himself he's right. I'll be like, hey, stop eating all that butter and ice cream. What are you talking about? I'm healthy as a friggin' horse. And like, he goes to the doctor and they tell him like, yeah, your arteries aren't clogged or anything. It's just, he's like a genetic anomaly almost. And like his positive mental energy affects his body.
Yeah.
It affects his life.
It's so infectious.
It is.
Yeah. He's
like
just such a
rarely gets sick. Does not get sick. If he starts feeling away, he goes, I'm not sick. Or he goes,
he's just fine.
or if like he would have a bad day, not having a bad day.
No, he's good.
Yeah, just
he's
crack a
good.
joke. There he goes. He's on the fly.
Talk about somebody who's the most like I've never met somebody who is so just go with the flow.
It's
And
him.
it's him.
For sure.
Just doesn't let the day-to-day things like they're the hiccups in life get to him.
Nope.
They're just in one ear out the other, or just lets it he's just a master at
Selective hearing.
Yeah, selective hearing and just taking it in and just letting it go.
Yep.
Which is such a skill.
It is a skill.
It's such a skill.
Such a skill to have.
Yeah, because very few people can practice that on a regular basis.
Of course, and succeed.
And
Yeah,
succeed.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. So
I think that's something we need to look into.
Yeah. Definitely admire him for that.
For sure. Hell yeah.
For sure.
Another thing I think is really important is, like we talked a little bit about the meditation. I think if you're not in the headspace to meditate, because it's difficult practice to do,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
I think taking 5 to 10 minutes of consciously relaxing, no phone, no TV. Maybe you can put some music on your phone, but just like sit there for 5 to 10 minutes and just consciously tell yourself thank you. Tell yourself you love yourself. Find a couple things to be happy about. Take an inventory of the day. Do these things, right?
Yeah.
Even if it's just 5 to 10 minutes, right?
It's all you need.
Some people are just like, I just don't have the time. If you really don't have 5 to 10 minutes to just like do something like that, you got to start taking some things out of your life.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna go right ahead and call you a liar because
sure.
I'm gonna say that there's literally not one person on the planet Earth today who doesn't have 5 or 10 minutes to do that.
Sure.
Like, I don't care how busy you are. I don't care what you got
Don't care
going
your
on.
reasonings, your excuses, or anything like that.
Like you have 5 to 10 minutes.
For sure.
Everybody has 5 to 10 minutes, so I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, it's just a bad excuse on their part.
It is a bad excuse, but it's. And you'll feel so much better, and you feel so much better. Your clarity you get afterwards, is almost unparalleled. Like,
for sure,
like after you open your eyes and you just kind of let everything come back in. It's almost surreal.
It is.
It's almost it's kind of hard to really describe until you do it.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, I think it just like reinforces a better day. Maybe you end your day like that and it sets you up for a better day tomorrow, you know?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So in conclusion, I said that already, but
we've gotten there a couple of times,
yeah,
but we're getting there. It's all good.
I think, I hope people take this podcast and they, realize how important mental health is, just from what we've talked about too, Yeah. I think like I do a pretty good job at pulling some people on that have a perspective on that have been in a position like you, me, or my brother, right? Or Sam too.
Right.
People that have been in shitty situations and take that energy and turn it into something beautiful, right? Different life, change, positivity, stuff like that. So I hope people can take these podcasts, this one specifically, maybe change a couple routines about their mental health, start taking it more seriously.
Yeah.
We'll do another one on the importance of therapy, I think that's huge.
That's a really big one, yeah.
Because people have like a really bad stigma about it, But we're going to help fix that.
Yeah.
I think it's just finding the right person to help you.
Yeah, it just comes from the other generation, but yeah. But
our therapist just happens to be from that generation though.
Yeah, he
was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you just got to find them, right?
Yeah, they're there.
They are there. You just got to do some searching.
Yeah, absolutely.
So staying positive, healthy routines, mentally and physically, doing some accomplishments, new hobbies, making sure your relationships are in check, being grateful for all that stuff, Find a way to block the world out for a little bit, reward yourself, make some big changes, all of these things. Yeah. What do you think about that?
I think it's a very comprehensive
conclusion. There you go.
Yeah, I think that kind of touches on all the little things that go into the big piece of solidifying your mind.
And the mental health thing.
The mental health, absolutely. In whatever area you find that you think needs work, or you feel you're better or worse at, you know yourself. You got to sit down and say, I can work on this area, or I'll touch on that area after this one, and kind of take it one area at a time.
Yeah, and just face that.
Absolutely.
Well, you got anything else to add, or are we good?
I think we're pretty good. I think we'll get into another one, like you said. We'll get into a therapy one on another day.
Cool.
And dive into this in a little bit more detail on that one.
I appreciate you coming this morning. Not going to keep you any longer. I know you got to get to your house for some adulting stuff.
This was great.
Yeah, absolutely.
This was a really good one. I enjoyed this one in particular.
I enjoyed this one too. I hope everyone else does.
Yeah.
Appreciate everyone listening. Like I said, give us a like, follow, and share so we can keep on doing this. Support the podcast. For God's sakes, please, because I want to keep doing this.
Give us a like. It'll really help us out.
Please.
Yeah.
I hope you all have a good rest of your day, good rest of your week. Feel free.
Have a good one.